Hey, Denise, Carl Schilling here. I figure we spoke so much on the phone. We've gone back and forth so much. I figured I might as well just use the product directly and no better way to communicate with you. Okay. So I give you a short overview of just exactly what we're doing and what I'm thinking of trying to form some consolidation here. Okay. First of all, let me share with you that I have well over 40 years experience in sales, sales training, sales development, and has been in many different industries. Okay. This has been in the financial services industry, the real estate industry, sales training industry, and even personal development. I was in the IR industry for 9 years as well. Okay. So we did investor relations work. So anyway, in compiling all of that, it's come to my attention over the last 2 or 3 years that insurance agents, financial services arena, the financial services industry, has they have been abused. Okay, many of them are not even familiar they've been abused, but they've been abused as well as the people who they have gone on to abuse. And most of the abuse against agents has been in the form of marketing, silver bullets, magic silver beans, all of these programs, no prospecting. These are not realities, okay? People in these industries need to market. They need to understand that there's a difference between marketing and selling, and they need to have the right tools. Now, I've always taken advantage of those tools. So in reaching out to agents, I've used a tool from Enfuse, which is now Verb. I've used that tool, tremendous tool. I've used a virtual platform, the 3D platform from EXP, which is EXPI, the public carrier, who then bought the developers, who are Verbella. Now, I find that both those platforms, your platform and the Verbella platform, have not even been touched in the financial services industry. Now, to give you a fast idea on what Glenn Sanford and his operation did in the real estate arena, just think of this, okay? Now, your tool goes tremendously to realtors. Your tool is phenomenal for realtors. I mean, how else could you show a virtual tour on video with paperwork and everything attached to it to call me or email me direct right away in the video? It's lights out for the real estate industry. Okay. Now, do they know about it? I doubt it, because I don't think many people are talking to them about it. But would it work for Verbella and Glenn Sanford? Would it work there? Absolutely. It would be a grand slam. But let me tell you real briefly, what did EXP do? Okay. So 6-7 years ago, I think, I don't know the exact timeline. Anyway, Glenn Sanford started the only agent-owned virtual real estate, operation, brokerage. Okay. Agent owned and cloud based. So nobody else had that in the industry. The closest was the closest would have been, nobody in the industry had a three form of compensation. Nobody had direct, residual, and passive income in the real estate industry. Okay. Exit Realty was the closest, who had maybe direct and some residual. But Glenn Sanford, brilliant idea, came up with this, which created, because of the public entity and all, it created passive income for realtors as well as direct and residual, which is unheard of in the industry. So they struggled along, about 500 realtors, several years, about 500 realtors. They ran into Verbella, found the virtual 3D platform that Verbella was using for education. Tremendous world out there. It's a tremendous tool. No brick and mortar, have the ability to just erase all brick and mortar and just really virtual 24/7 anywhere in the world. So he ties in with Verbella, and then Verbella puts this platform up for him for all the realtors, and he jumps from 500 to 17,000, closing in now 17,000 realtors in less than 24 months. So the catalyst was clearly the Verbella. So in November last year, in the last quarter, fourth quarter, EXPI acquires Verbella, just brings them in. So now I've spoken to Glenn Sanford briefly now about the insurance industry and about the fact of what they did in the real estate industry, they could do in the insurance industry, but they can't do it the same way. It's not the same animal. And if they approach it the same way, they will definitely spend millions and millions of dollars and waste, years of time, because I've seen it happen many times. So uniquely, here's what I'm saying. There is a tremendous opportunity to pierce into the financial services industry because they are archaic. They are archaic. The home offices are still living in the 60s. And when they do come up with something new, it's not for agents per se, it's for administration. So are they catching up in technology for administration and for other things? Yeah, sure. Yes, absolutely. But they're not catching up on technology for marketing and selling. Because quite frankly, to you and I, they're not that interested in it because they believe that's the agent's lot in life. That's why they have millions of agents running around, because it's their duty to prospect. It's their duty to create markets. Okay. Now, agents don't take that responsibility. They try to pass it on to someone else. So instead of doing what they're supposed to be doing and get paid to do, they look for someone else to do it, wasting a lot of money and time, and therefore not penetrating the market and getting as many sales as could be had. So really what I'm trying to put together now is an organization where we train, develop. We've got some really, really neat stuff. You can look up my financial transformation. I sent it to you. We've got a pathway to middle-class millionaire plan. We've got a pathway to make agents have the ability to show people how to earn the money to get it into large life insurance contracts. But imagine the power of video. Now, I've used it. I've used video all over. You see the video I've used, and I'm trying to get agents to understand the same thing because there's a powerful message here. I'm sending you a 12, 15-minute video. I'm talking to you. We're not communicating. I understand. But again, I'm able to make the presentation far better than I could in any kind of webinar, okay, or far better than I could on any kind of PowerPoint email, any of that kind of deal. This is interactive immediately. I can send you documents now. I can send you the information that we're discussing, and I can hear back from you. Yeah, so it'd be better if we could talk live, and that's great, no problem. But that's why we have the Verbella platform. In the Verbella world, we can talk live. We won't be there ourselves. We'll be there with little avatars, and it's like a gaming world. We'll be communicating. So certainly in the world of financial services, the last point to this I'm going to make is that there is a huge opportunity in the recruiting and training and development of people in this industry, because the industry is dying on the vine because they're aging out. They are doing a horrible job recruiting, young millennials who are not interested, quite frankly. It's too old. The millennials, because the nature of the industry is from the 60s and 70s, even 50s, and you look at everything they do, and they keep treating life insurance like, your grandparents would have talked about life insurance, or people my age and the baby boomers. That's not the marketplace that much anymore. Baby boomers, yes, but baby boomers are catching on to this kind of thing. I'm a baby boomer. I have no problem with all this technology. And grandparents are jumping in because their grandchildren are hooked and attached to all of these kind of things. So they are very, very open nowadays, open-minded. So again, we have a great recruiting opportunity to reach out with tools that millennials will appreciate. Millennials will like. That's why I love what you guys have done. I love what Rory's done. It's a tremendous opportunity. But again, I'm not saying this is the only market for you guys. You got a wealth of markets. But if you're going to penetrate this market, you need somebody who has the ability to get inside that market. And why not team up? I mean, your power of being a public company and your power of ability, and the same I told Glenn Sanford. I haven't spoke to him direct because we do this. But at the same time, there's consolidation, acquisition. We could acquire agents. When you acquire IMOs and FMOs, we can acquire agents by the thousands. And if I showed you the numbers on having just 1,000 agents, and I know some organizations got 15,000, 20,000 agents, independent organizations, okay? Those agencies and organizations are doing $1 billion, $1.2 billion a year in production. Okay, the margins on that is 20 to 30% on the margins if it's life insurance. So there's huge margins, there's huge opportunities here. So if we're able to corral the kind of numbers that realtors are in, And I'm only looking at small numbers. I'm looking at 1,000, 2,000 agents. I'm not even broadly talking about 10 or 15,000, which, by the way, is nothing in comparison to an industry that has 1.1 million agents running around. And but there's going to be a lot of contraction. A lot of people say 25%. So in 2 years, by 2022, people are saying that there'll be less than 750,000 agents based on today's aging and moving out. Okay, so that means on the bottom end, all those millennials need to be recruited. They need to be trained, developed. They need to be brought into the industry. They need these tools. These tools will help them build the kind of differentiation and practice that puts them far outside the white noise. Anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it, and I hope this has been a fast overview. Certainly there's a lot of little particulars to discuss, but there's revenue to be gained, okay? And there is bottom line profitability to take from the revenue to the bottom line because there's large margins in it, okay? Large margins. And certainly the technology and the things that you have as a company fit into this. And what we're talking about fits into your overall business development plan. It does not take you out into another world. You're not asking you to sell vitamins or this is a core principle to what you have and what you're doing in sales and marketing. Okay. I hope that helps, and I keep it short. So I look forward to speaking with you and Rory, and let's see what we can do. Okay. Have a great day. I'll put some documents on here. I'll put some things in there. Once again, some white paper, some things you can see, and let's do it. Let's make it happen.